Tennessee, that incredible turnaround against the Gators without Zakai Ziegler, who was out with that right knee injury, without Igor Milicic, who missed that contest with the flu. They're both back in the starting lineup tonight. And all that was a 50-point turnaround after a 30-point loss in Gainesville. You welcome the Gators to Rocky Top, and you send them home with a 20-point setback. Underway at Knoxville, the opening tap controlled by the Vols.
And the team in black will climb up into Tennessee all night long. One of the better pressure defensive teams in the country.
And what a turnaround season for Dennis Gates, year 3. 8 wins last year overall for the campaign. Ranked inside the top 15 so far this year. Akpara off the mark. He'll get it back. Never grazed the rim, and that's Ziegler from downtown. That's a great sign for Tennessee.
Yeah, the knee's okay, and so's his shot. Zakai Ziegler has struggled with his three-point shot, but he's got a lot of courage.
Robinson, Bates, Perkins, Pierce, Mitchell, the starting 5 for Mizzou. The return of Ziegler and Milicic for Rick Barnes tonight, with Lanier the leading scorer. Three-pointer off the mark. Joshua Gray inside. Check it. It's Mark Mitchell battling for the rebound. Tennessee comes away with it. Ball's coming off, Coach. Maybe their best defensive effort of the season. Putting Florida to just 44 points back on Saturday. Robinson left wide open, top of the key, in and out. Milicic controls.
Well, that's who they are, though, Missouri. They come in making 10 three-point shots a game, almost 40% in league play.
Milicic picked up by Trent Pierce. Ziegler off the cut. Back door goes Meshat. And Akpara couldn't handle the fastball inside.
Well, Zakai Ziegler missed on Saturday, but this is a kid that, again, he shoots the ball with courage and confidence. He missed a big one at Auburn late in that ball game, and Rick Barnes told me the next day, I will trust Zakai Ziegler at any moment to take big shots for the Volunteers.
And it's just great to see the right knee's okay.
No doubt.
MRI after that win against Florida, everything was checked out and cleared.
Seems like we kind of get bored sometimes talking about Tennessee. They are the nation's best defensive team. And they are leading the SEC in field goal percentage defense, three-point percentage defense. They can lock you up, and the Florida Gators found that out Saturday with only 7 guys for Tennessee available.
Rick Barnes, year 10 on Rocky Top. 18-4 this season, 5-4 in the SEC. Ask yourself, Coach, how deep is the Southeastern Conference this year in basketball? How good is this league? Joe Lunardi has Tennessee with 4 league losses as a 1 seed right now. They're 5-4 in the league and currently a 1 seed according to Joey Brackett.
Yeah, Roy, there's a chance that the SEC could have 3 1 seeds along with Duke when that bracket's released in about 5 weeks.
You got Auburn, you got Alabama, you got Tennessee, you got Florida, all viable candidates.
No doubt.
Chaz Lanier. Shot clock winding down. It sails out of bounds back to Mizzou. Now, Dennis Gates, year 3, we spoke to him today at shoot around, and Coach, I asked him, I was like, do you get a chance to step back and celebrate what this team has done? He looked at me. There's no celebrations. It's not in his DNA. It is full focus on the next game and this task at hand, trying to deal with Tennessee on the road.
When you think about what he did in his first year, SEC Coach of the Year, struggled mightily last year, and now they're back to an NCAA tournament team. If I'm Missouri, I lock up Dennis Gates for a long-term contract, and don't let anyone come calling in this next offseason. He is that good for that Missouri program.
No question. After the miss by Bates, Vols get it back.
And Caleb Grill in the game now for Missouri, 31 in black. He's the kind of guy you guard when the plane touches down in Knoxville. He's that much offense off that bench.
Akpara missed the chippy. Grill has 26 threes in his last 7 games. Missouri's yet to get on the scoreboard. Nearly 4 minutes in. It'll stay with the Tigers, 15 to shoot.
Good recognition, though, by Milicic, because Ziegler was outmanned on that baseline, and Milicic dropped to the line of the ball, if not lower, to get that deflection. Well, that's not an easy corner to get it inbounds. A lot of traffic.
And Pierce retreats deep in the backcourt. Shot clock already at 10. Here's the Duke transfer, Martin Mitchell. Banks picked up by Akpara. That's a 3. And Pierce sends it out of bounds back to Tennessee.
Well, you don't want to let Missouri dance into those three-point shots. Again, they're making 10 a game, and multiple guys can dance with the ball and jump up and stick them on you. I mean, even a kid like Pierce. He's a 6'10 guard shooting 33%.
Akpara checks out, and Jordan Gainey on the floor for head coach Rick Barnes.
Boy, how good was he Saturday, Gainey? 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. Logged a lot of minutes with Ziegler not available.
He's had some moments this year, too. You go back to the game winner against Illinois in December.
Good cut.
On cue, high off the glass.
Yeah, Roy, you got to do that against that Missouri pressure. You got to burn it off, man, with some back cuts. And really well done by Tennessee to space that floor and allow room for the back cut.
And all of a sudden, this starts to feel like a continuation of what Tennessee was able to do against Florida on Saturday. 64-44 was the final. Gators couldn't score. Defense a big reason why. And the jump ball, Doug Shows. It'll stay with Mizzou.
Just suffocating defense. Zakai Ziegler heavy in that gap. Goes at it with 2 hands. And watch Zakai Ziegler, man, handle that rock. And the back cut comes, boom, right there. Gainey sets it up, burns it off. Falls out to a good start early.
5-0 our score. 4th-ranked Tennessee leading Missouri. Just underway on Rocky Top. Jimmy Dykes, Roy Philp by the Tigers. Boy, what a season it has been in such a bounce-back fashion. Projected, Jimmy, you go back to October 13th in that preseason poll, the Southeastern Conference. Nobody thought this team was going to pound Kansas the way that it did on December 8th, and that was a game that really wasn't that close. The top 5 win at Florida, contest in which Mizzou never trailed, and then we just mentioned moments ago, Saturday, largest road win over Rankbo in school history at Mississippi State.
Yeah, when you go to Mississippi State and you beat it by 27, you're a legit team. And this Missouri team's the real deal. They're 14-0 this year, Roy, when they score 80 points or more. They're averaging 83. They're number 7 team in the nation, averaging 10 steals per game. They can really get after you. They got a lot of depth. 8 different guys have led them in scoring this year.
Seeking that 3rd win against an AP top 5 team. On the road, no less. Already dispatched to Florida. 6 on the shot clock out of the timeouts. Anthony Robinson a step back. Lid remains firmly on off the fingertips of Grill. And it goes back to Tennessee.
Boy, so far, no clean looks for Missouri. That's that Tennessee defense that can just choke the life out of you. Even Milicic right there. He gets bounced back a little bit, but comes right back with that high hand challenge. Everything is challenged right now for the Missouri Tigers.
Milicic coming back from flu-like symptoms. Kept him out of the Florida game. They really didn't know he was not going to be able to go until almost an hour before tip. So a surprise there. Kate Phillips on the floor for the first time for the Bulls. Josh Gray also checks in for Mizzou. Meshack, no. Goes back to the Tigers.
Well, where's Missouri going to get their offense from? They're a team that likes to spread you out. They like to drive the ball for those spread threes. But it's very difficult to get driving angles on Tennessee. They are so good at staying in front of the ball and staying out of a defensive rotation. Talking about Tennessee.
Tony Perkins from deep, and that's all net. Mizzou finally on the board.
You can't make a mistake on that high ball screen. Very uncommon for Tennessee not to handle that action.
To a one-possession game. Here's Gainey. He was stripped. Robinson comes away with it. 1-on-2 the other way in numeral 0. Off the mark. Tigers get it back. Gray coming off his first double-double in 2 seasons. That win at Mississippi State off the back iron. Robinson. That's going to be his second.
Boy, Zakai Ziegler is so clever with that defense from behind to slow down and get the contact. I go back to this last three. This is just an on-ball screen that, Cade Phillips drops off of it. Meshack is also dropping over the screener. Nobody takes the shooter. And that kind of simple action, Tennessee seldom makes a mistake on.
It's amazing to me the depth in this conference. You talk about a guy like Perkins. He was an all Big Ten player. Yeah. Coming in from Iowa. Drains the first triple tonight for the Tigers this evening. Dubar, no, he'll get it back. Missed twice. Andy right on top of Grill. Foul inside. Gray says he was bumped by Chaz Lanier.
Yeah, Tennessee got mismatched in transition, and Lanier, as a big guard, trying to check Gray underneath, it just becomes a fist fight, and Lanier gets called for it. And Tennessee, they're a very physical team, but they also have a low foul rate. They're a very disciplined physical team on this end of the floor.
Is that hard to coach, to play?
Yeah,
it's solid defense without foul.
It's very, but you know what? You get what you demand. I was talking to Seth Greenberg driving in for the game tonight. We were talking about teams around the country, and you get what you demand in practice, and that is Rick Barnes every day.
Here's Cruz, who just checks in. Off the back iron, Gray. A clean rebound right over the top of Dubar.
Cruz and Lanier played a couple of years together at North Florida. And just like Tennessee did to Missouri, you've got to back cut Tennessee some, too, to burn off the pressure that they put on you.
Caleb Grill with the dunk, and we're tied at 5.
You cannot get careless with the ball against this team in black. They are lightning fast with their hands and gamble-oriented in a good way.
Dubar gets it again. Lost the handle, stolen by Grill.
What I'm talking about, Roy, even a loose pass, man, that's just an invite for a strip and rip. And your passing has to be strong, your catch has to be tough. It's the Missouri team that understands how to deflect that pressure as well. They practice against it every day. Really well done for Missouri to fight back and tie this thing up early at 5-all.
I mean, he's one of the top three-point shooters in America, and you give him the confidence with an early dunk. All of a sudden, the rim starts to look a little wider for Caleb Grill. Meshack checks back in. Ziegler goes out. Team struggling with turnovers and outside shooting to begin. Mark Mitchell, massive jump stop outside to Perkins. He's hit 2 threes, and Mizzou has its first lead.
Big time penetration by Mark Mitchell. That name's familiar. He's a Duke transfer, started there for 2 straight years. It all starts with that paint touch, making Tennessee respond to it.
So now an 8-0 run by the Tigers. A strength of 2 threes by Tony Perkins. Missouri's been one of the bigger surprises in the country this year. Akpara, good look inside, high-low, and it's 8-7.
His hands have gotten better as the year's gone on. Talking about Akpara. Wow, right up your backside, right, Missouri? You score on them, they come right back at you.
Perkins with 8 points. Gainey. Akpara clears it. Josh Gray bothered that shot just enough on the release.
Yeah, but in this league, man, it's so hard to get the ball that close to the rim. You've got to finish. It's the second most athletic league in the world behind the NBA.
Perkins feeling it. That's another 3, his 3rd.
You cannot give Missouri space. They're making 10 a game at 40%. Multiple guys can shoot it. You've got to make them do something off the bounce beside that 3-point look.
9 minutes in, 13-7. These two teams have played some absolute classics over the years. And Lanier, his first points, leading scorer for Tennessee at almost 18 per. And Tony Perkins call a timeout. He has scored the last 8 points in a row for the Tigers.
Well, they got multiple guys that can get buckets. Tony Perkins, one of them. Two-time All-Big Ten performer at Iowa. Don't let them dance with the ball. They dance in the ball to stick threes. For any one league that we've ever had in college basketball. That's how good they've been the last 2 years. 8 teams. This year could be 11, 12, or possibly 13 in that NCAA tournament.
Oh, by the way, Arkansas says hello. Cal gets the road win at Kentucky. And the Hawks are sitting on the proverbial bubble here in early February. Who knows what that NCAA tournament selection Sunday is going to feel like for this conference. All the teams are going to have a legitimate shot to make the dance. Grill from downtown, silky smooth.
I told you, guard him when the plane lands from Columbia in Knoxville. He's got logo distance from any logo in this conference.
We saw that in the road win against Mississippi State. It was 2 dribbles past half court with the shot clock winding down. Jimmy, that was a 40-footer that he drained with ease.
And he gets it off quick.
Milicic, the pump fake. Mizzou with its largest lead at 7. Meshack, the runner. Josh Gray clears.
Yeah, Meshack turned down an 18-foot shot, not comfortable with it. Takes it into traffic for a tough 2.
T.O. Barrett on the floor for the first time for the Tigers. He'll dump it off to Gray. Rejected by Milicic inside, and then now stolen by Mitchell.
The 6th turnover already in this game for Tennessee.
Cruz thinking about it. You mentioned it. He was Legion teammates with Chaz Lanier in North Florida. They signed in the same class in 2020. Short on the 3, and Lanier grabs it. Trying to spot Milicic with the outlet pass, and it's stolen away. Drill the pump fake over to Cruz.
I'm so impressed with Missouri, how they gamble, but it pays off more than not.
Milicic wide open. Big response for UT.
As we know, it's a Tennessee team only shooting 30% from the 3-point line. And then any 3-point shot they get is extra.
Barrett double team. High off the glass, gets the bounce. Unexpected offense off of Dennis Gates' bench.
I just love the toughness of Missouri this year. They got a chip on their shoulder. They're together. They're deep. Strong, physical kids. Now Missouri goes to a zone look. Tennessee's got to recognize it, get that ball to the logo, and play inside out. That's a good touch.
Milicic, the elbow jumper.
You do not settle for a 3 against that Missouri zone. You find the sweet spot and make them pay.
Jimmy, this game was 5-0 Tennessee. Almost 6 minutes in, it felt like. Then Mizzou just turned on the gas. And it's been no break so far. Barrett outside to Cruz. Another 3.
Cruz and Grill are a problem. And Cruz has the 6'8" length to deal with, and Grill's got the quick release.
Jimmy, talking to the Mizzou staff today, they feel like Cruz has probably been their best shooter in practice. Yeah. They've been waiting for him to cut it loose on game day. Lead at 7. Here's Milicic. And now Meshack, wide open. With the bounce.
But he shot it with confidence. Not a great shooter, but man, when you're that open in this league on scholarship, you got to let that thing fly with some courage. Well done by Meshack.
Balls 3 and 4 from deep. Missouri with 5 triples. Grill off the mark. Pops out to Cruz.
Boy, Tennessee's had 3 defensive breakdowns in this first half that you seldom see over a 3 or 4 game stretch.
Here's Barrett. Closed out that Florida win on the road with 7 quality minutes late. Mitchell forced that one up. And Cruz over the back. Picks up the personal.
Well, Missouri, they get you on an island. They play one-on-one, and you better guard that ball, guard your yard. There's the release I'm talking about from Grill, man. It is in and out of his paws as quick as anybody in this league. Meshack with a nice release, good rotation. As a result, bam, nothing but the bottom of the net and the rim.
Now, Caleb Grill moments ago from downtown his 50th three-ball of the season. Mizzou with a 4-point advantage, the 15th-ranked Tigers on the road here at Rocky Top. And, Coach, you take a look at his shot chart this year. You see that one outlier close to midcourt. That went down Saturday at Mississippi State at Humphrey Coliseum. And the shot clock was winding down, about a 40-footer. He told us today he thought there was only 2 seconds left on the timer. There was actually 4. But that's a confident stroke. And he said, you know what? Growing up with my dad, Chris, he coached me in high school. He taught me how to deal with contested three-point opportunities and shots. And that has paid dividends today. That shot wasn't necessarily contested. But this guy, the ball's in the air. Jimmy, it feels like to me it's going in more times than not.
Yeah, no doubt. He will shoot it right in your grill. And what I love about that shot chart on the year, he's good from any point on that three-point line. He's not a one-spot guy at all. Boy, Tennessee with 7 turnovers in the game. They've had 12 total in the last 2 games. That's how disruptive Missouri is defensively.
Marshall on the floor for the first time for the Tigers. They are going 10-11 deep tonight. Deal with this Tennessee pressure. Marshall, a grown man moves up and in, and Big 21 says hello.
You talk about knocking and carving out space, because he was behind the backboard initially and just moved Okpara out of the way, which isn't easy to do.
Okpara off the lob. No, that's his 3rd missed shot from point-blank range, and a foul called against the Tigers.
Well, Missouri is so fast, though, recovering to the basketball. They have a knack to speed you up. That's what we're talking about with Marshall. He's behind the backboard, and then boom, right there into the chest of Okpara, moves him backwards and finds an angle. He is a load.
Peyton Marshall with Josh Gray and his leadership. 4 years in the SEC with LSU and South Carolina. We're transferring into Dennis Gates' program. He's got some bigs that can battle you inside, and they've produced this year on offense. The lob to Phillips.
They look for that and get it about once a game with Phillips.
Makes it look easy when he's engaged.
He makes Tennessee better when he's on the floor. Cade Phillips, if nothing else, but just because of his dadgum effort.
I feel like I'm going to read that quote in the Tennessee notes in the next couple of weeks. The dadgum effort for Cade Phillips.
I say dadgum because Roy Williams is there tonight. Watch out.
Milicic inside, the block on one end, the dunk on the other.
And again, fed by Cade Phillips. Good things happen for Tennessee when he's on the floor.
The lead was 1-7. It's down to 2. Here's Warren. Throws it up and in with a mid-range.
They are tough shot takers and makers.
We'll quiet this crowd for a moment. Ziegler bounced it out of bounds. It was last touched by Missouri.
Well, Cade Phillips is a threat. He's going to be the second guy to kind of finish to the rim. Plays possum to start with. He just rolls right in front of it. Great explosiveness. Cade Phillips, one of the better athletes that Tennessee has.
Marshall checks out. Gray back on the floor for the Tigers. Cade Phillips providing energy for head coach Rick Barnes tonight.
Not easy to get it in against Missouri in that deep corner, I'm telling you. Ooh.
Gainey had to come to the basketball on the pass. And a foul against Tennessee. Dubar trying to clear out. And he picks up his first. An interesting start here with Tennessee up to a 5-0 advantage early. Then Mizzou responds with an 8-0 run. And Dennis Gates, who was mentored by Leonard Hamilton, who's getting set to retire at Florida State. His team unfazed.
Dennis Gates talks to Leonard Hamilton every day, sometimes multiple times a day. He talked to me today about how George Thompson was the mentor for Leonard Hamilton, just like Leonard is for him. John Thompson. I say George? John Thompson. Not a lot of sleep last night.
You did good to make it to the shoot-around today. I was impressed.
I did, yeah.
Coming in hot from Oxford, and Dubar fouled on the runner. Yeah, one of the questions we asked Dennis Gates, too, last year you didn't win a game in the league. This year you're off to a 6-2 start, ranked in the top 15. Your demeanor, from our perspective, feels and looks the exact same. And he said, well, you know what? The handbook that Leonard Hamilton gave me when he went winless in a season at Miami, he provided the blueprint on how to deal with what went down last year. And you mentioned how frequently they're in touch. It's an amazing relationship that is very strong to this day.
Well, Dennis Gates is a guy that doesn't flinch. He didn't flinch last year when they went on that losing streak. And like I said to start this game, if I'm Missouri, I lock this guy up because he's going to have Missouri in that NCAA tournament 2 out of his first 3 years. He plays a brand and recruits kids that get him. They play hard. They play with a chip on their shoulder. They are a very steady team within the game. There's no expression from those guys when they get bad calls. He's a terrific leader of men, much like his mentor, Leonard Hamilton.
Gubar missed a pair of free throws. Now 5 of 12 in that department this season. Warwick sizes up another mid-range.
Boy, not afraid to go right at Zakai Ziegler, right, with a size advantage.
(27-21), and here's Mesha. Caney from 15. Gray corrals it.
Boy, Gray has given Missouri a physical presence around the rim that they did not have last year.
Deep three, on the way, and down it goes for Warwick.
You can never be surprised by Missouri 3, never. And you think your pickup point is high enough, it is not. And that's exactly what Rick Barnes is going to talk about. You cannot allow Missouri to dribble cleanly into a transition 3. You can, but they're going to stick it on you. Clean dribble into a 3, cross it over, dial it up from distance. Missouri team's real deal.
Dorian Oak and Pat Bradley, we'll see you at the half. Get you set for the 2 games that start at 9 o'clock Eastern. Take on the first half here. These Tigers keep impressing, man.
Started out as a rock fight. Now it's a 3-point contest.
You know what? You guys usually ask the analysts the question I'm going to ask. Speaking of three-pointers, Jimmy Dykes, you need 1 3-pointer. You got 1 shot. You want Wade Taylor, Caleb Grill, or Pat Bradley?
Wow. If I want to win the game, I'm going with Caleb Grill. If it's for entertainment purposes, I'll throw Pat Bradley out there and try to get him open. Now, Caleb Grill is number 2 in the nation, Roy. 49% from the 3-point line. Only Cole Anderson at UC Santa Barbara is shooting a higher percentage at 53%. That's how good of a shooter this kid is. A legitimate 6th man of the year, not only in this league, but maybe in the country. I mean, instant offense puts a lot of pressure on your defense when he checks in the game.
And we mentioned earlier he was coached by his dad, Chris, in high school in Wichita. He also played at Wichita State back in the day. Caleb graduated from Iowa State. Brief stop at UNLV. Now at Missouri, he has found his home. 49 threes coming in now with 50 on the season with that deep one made moments ago. Out of the timeout, Missouri has its largest lead. Jimmy Dykes, Roy Philpott, call it 9. Phillips, a bounce pass to Mesha.
But Missouri's making Tennessee work so hard just to get some tough 2s to drop.
Marquez Warwick has been on a 7-0 run by himself.
Good job by Gainey to get over the top of that 3-man screen.
It's Warwick again. Shot clock down to 6. Tamar Bates held in check so far. That's a 3. And Gray over the back.
And it's all because of Cade Phillips doing what you're supposed to do. As soon as that shooter was on the rise, I saw Cade Phillips immediately go to smash his guy and get an offensive rebound position.
Road team has won each of the last 6 games in this series, and there have been some great ones over the course of the last 3 years.
Where this is a stacked zone. Those guards up top taking turns, covering up that nail area.
Ziegler with 1-3, now 2. Now Ziegler in his last 3 games was 2 of 20 combined from deep. Now 2 of 2 tonight.
I was messing with him today at shooter, and I said, Z, I heard you sat out Saturday because you were tired. I said, man, come on, I never get tired.
Gray sends that pass to Mitchell right between the wickets.
As disruptive as Missouri can be, Tennessee can answer the bell as well. And Zakai Ziegler right there, the ball goes inside, it gets reversed, and one more, boom. That defense has to respect that nail because of Meshak's flash and allows Ziegler to pop wide open.
Now, to be fair, we were talking with Rick Barnes on the sideline
at the time.
Zakai was getting loose during flex period, and you just went right in, and he kind of looked at you like, wait a second now, come on.
He and I have a good relationship, though. He knows I was messing with him. One thing you can never say about Zakai Ziegler, he's too tired to play.
Ziegler, how about the moves? Phillips, no. Mitchell bothered that dunk attempt just enough. Phillips was off the mark, but a foul was called.
Boy, look at the celebration by Missouri. Sending the message, there will be nothing easy in this game tonight around the rim. The quick reaction to the ball by Missouri, so impressive in this game. Man, they are fast defensively at all 5 spots.
It's Pierce that snuck in there as Phillips, 54% at the line. Also missed 3 free throws in a row to start this game. Continues to gut it out with that injured shoulder. You see the brace on that left shoulder. Missed a pair. The lead remains at 4. Give and go. Mark Mitchell with authority, rejected by Phillips. Well, bad intentions for 25 in black for a moment.
Yeah, Mitchell came with force and a bad attitude. But he was met by Cade Phillips. That verticality, you cannot do it any better than what 12 and White just did. And then I'm not sure who they got called on the reach. But Cade Phillips got his stuff blocked on one end and came right back and delivered the same message on the other.
Meshak called for the infraction. Mitchell at the line. His first point of the evening. Basketball, top 15 showdown. It has lived up to the billing thus far.
Look at Missouri, 6-2. They come in here, they've already got 1 win at Florida and 1 at Mississippi State. They get out of here tonight with 1 and go to 7-2. They've got a lot of pressure right now on teams above them in those standings.
Pierce taps that one out of bounds, was in the passing lane in front of Meshak.
Disruptive, right? What you say about Missouri as well? As disruptive as a defensive team as we have in this league.
I like it when you ask me the question on occasion, but yeah, I would agree with that.
I know you watch a lot of ball.
Well, it's interesting because I think of Missouri this year as a 3-point shooting team with Grill and with Tamar Bates, who's really yet to do anything, but defensively, it's chaos at times.
It is. Short clock to work with.
Timer down to 5. Meshak an opening with a path off glass. In and out and back in.
Boy, Tennessee's very determined to pound that thing inside. It started on Saturday against Florida. It continues tonight.
Here's Caleb Grill on the skip pass to Pierce. Grill taps it out. Well, I did not think Tennessee touched that. I thought it would be an over and back.
And Rick Barnes thinking the same thing.
Don Daly with the explanation. Tennessee's head coach. And then Perkins is bumped by Ziegler.
And the shot hits the rim, and Grill with the tap out. And maybe Don Daly thought Meshak's hand got in the action for the tip back.
Bulls extend their defense, and here's Grill. Needed an edge and couldn't get the shot off. Pierce off the hesitation. And the reverse.
Tennessee did a good job of running Missouri off the three-point line. And Pierce, instead of settling for a tough three, made a play out of the corner.
A statement half once again for Mizzou on the road against a top 5 team. 6-point lead, shot clock is off. And Ziegler fires the pass out of bounds.
What, the 8th turnover for Tennessee in this first half. Ziegler felt like that ball got tipped, but Missouri now with 5 seconds to work with, a chance to extend this lead to 8 or maybe 9.
Tigers not backing down from this Tennessee challenge.
They're going to get a good look.
Here's Bates off the front of the iron. 34-28, 20 minutes in. The Tigers ranked 15th in the country with the lead. And it's Tony Perkins with a team-high 11 points to lead the charge. Let's get you to the studio with the halftime report. Dari Noka, Pat Bradley.
All right, Roy, Jimmy.
Those turnovers and the extra shots. That has been one of several differences between these two, and Mizzou a chance to really send shockwaves around the college basketball universe. They can hold on the road again against a top 5 team.
Yeah, Tennessee with 8 turnovers as a result. Missouri has gotten off 7 more shots in this game.
Ziegler trying to spot Milicic, and Pierce picks it off.
The 9th turnover for Tennessee.
I don't envision Rick Barnes as a guy that went into the locker room, was yelling at his guys at the break. I mean, what do you tell him? Just make sure you're stronger with the ball?
Yeah, absolutely. No pass can be a habit pass in this game.
Bates from downtown. That's his first points of the night.
A great start for Missouri to get a turnover on one end and stick a 3 from the other.
The lead goes from 6 to 9. 9 different Tigers have scored in this game. Milicic, and that was Bates. He snuck in at the last minute. Perkins hasn't missed a field goal tonight, and he will shoot 3. Meshack bumped him on the blow-by.
Every game I've done this year for Tennessee involves Tennessee fouling a 3-point shooter. Now, I know they want to be aggressive. They lead the nation in 3-point defense, but you got to leave that shot side of the body alone if you're Meshack. Well, Missouri is so disruptive. They just harass the heck out of you. And Tennessee has not adjusted to the speed or the pressure. I go back to Missouri in the Kansas game back in December when Kansas was #1. Kansas literally threw the ball to Missouri multiple times in that game. They got sped up and the pressure got to them.
First miss of the night at the line or from the field by Perkins. He'll get one more.
You look at Dennis Gates on that sideline. He does not flinch. You can't tell if they're up 10 or down 10, and his guys play the same way. That expression will be there for the entire 2 hours plus as long as he's on the sidelines.
The largest lead for the Tigers at 11. And a foul inside. If that's Robinson, that's his 3rd, and it is. With this team, you can feel their connectivity, their cohesion in between plays, coming out of timeouts and shoot around earlier today. Jimmy, there are 4 guys that remain from last year's team that went winless in the SEC. So there were players that decided to stick around, decided to continue their development under Dennis Gates.
Well, as a result, they play with a major chip on their shoulder. Not easy for Ziegler at 5'10" to be the out-of-bounds under guy making that pass.
Ziegler made 2 threes in the first. Milicic inside. Banks it home.
Well, that's what Rick Barnes wants to do. He wants to pound that thing inside. Milicic is such a versatile offensive guy. You can post him, you can knock down threes, you can run dribble handoff zoom action with him.
Back iron for Bates. Milicic was fouled.
And Milicic is their best rebounder. 7 times for Milicic. At Tennessee, he's had 10 or more rebounds in a game. And the Volunteers need every one of those tonight from this kid.
Only start he missed was that Florida win, suffering from the flu. Robinson just picked up his 4th.
So think about it. Robinson goes out, and the 6th man of the year in this league, in my eyes, checks in Grill.
Grill was effective in the first half. 5 points coming off the bench. Had the 1-3 and the 1 dunk. Lob to Akpara. This time the flush.
Yeah, Tennessee went to their floppy action. They were trying to run their shooters off and get the curl action. Missouri denied all of that. So eventually the screener had to post up. A good job by Akpara.
Mitchell. Monster drop step. And Pierce comes away with it. Now Bates off the pump fake, drains a 3.
They are as good as we have in this league at those reload threes. They get that offensive glass, man. They find those spotted up shooters. Great efficiency on their offensive rebound threes.
Lead is back to 10. Here's Ziegler. Spins it off the glass and a chance for 3.
Yeah, he's a tough little cuss, man. Talking about Zakai Ziegler. And you've got to, at some point in this game, get something done off the bounce. If not, Missouri just continues to climb up in your jersey and overpress you. Ziegler, the one guy that can get into that paint, and Missouri's not going to come off his shooters. They're going to make Zakai Ziegler finish at the rim.
Jimmy, the knee looks good tonight. Had the 2 threes, and now with 9 points.
Yeah, he's on that Cousy Award finalist for best point guard in the country. And he'll be right there in that final voting.
Draws the contact from Mitchell. Mizzou back to work. Here's Pierce. And Akpara taps it to Lanier. Ziegler. Milicic twice. 3rd time's a charm.
A great job by Akpara, though, to get out in front of the play and be the initial guy for the touch. And Thompson Bowling now for the first time tonight having an impact.
Mitchell fouled on the way up by Akpara.
Forget how good Mitchell is. 67 starts at Duke over the last 2 years. And he draws, Roy, 6.2 fouls per 40 minutes because he's a mismatch of that ability to drive the ball at your 4 or your 5. He gets to that free throw line more than any other Missouri Tiger.
2 points a night. He averages nearly 13 per game this year. And really, Tamar Bates helped recruit him to Mizzou. They both grew up together in Kansas City. You see them talking at the free throw line for a moment. But after those 2 years in Durham, what a welcome addition he has been for Dennis Gates. And 2 old buddies that grew up playing basketball together, now doing it in the SEC, Bates and Mitchell.
Like what Dennis Gates told his guys today, mistakes are going to happen. Move on. Play through that next mistake. A hyper aggressive team in black.
Milicic, 1 possession game.
And a mistake made by Missouri, and because Milicic is a no-mistake guy, he will make you pay if you give him space.
High-level hoops on Rocky Top, 43-40. Mitchell to Cruz. 2 old teammates at North Florida, and Lanier won that battle. Here's Ziegler. 3rd 3 tonight. We're tied.
I don't know if Dennis won't take a timeout because the next dead ball is immediate timeout.
Mitchell collects on Akpara, draws the contact again.
Well, Milicic got this run started. In a transition 3, Vols on a 15-4 run. Bam, right there. A late closeout to a tall shooter. Zakai Ziegler, just a little bit of a ball screen. Milicic dives out of it, creates space for Ziegler. What a ball game between 2 top 15 teams.
points tonight, a perfect 3 of 3 behind the arc, and Mitchell at the line shooting 2. Akpara just picked up his second personal.
Roy, think about this. Thompson Bowling Arena attendance tonight is announced at just over 20,000. It's the 9th time in the last 10 games over 19,000. And this crowd impacts tight ball games. And Missouri's been on the road, though. They've won at Florida. They've won at Mississippi State. They're used to playing in pressure-packed games, two extremely hard-nosed, tough teams with no back down from either one.
44-43. Bulls regain the lead for the first time since it was 5-3. Gainey from deep, riding a wave of confidence this season. Here's Cruz with trigger, in and out. Milicic clears.
Well, that is simple, good action, no call by Rick Barnes to get Gainey open.
Mitchell on the attack, and the tap in by Cruz.
And you cannot play any harder than both these teams are playing. Just an absolute all-out effort tip in by Cruz.
Tied at 46 in a brand new game to start this second half. This time Gainey off the bounce to Ziegler on Perkins. Gray the rebound.
They have numbers.
Ahead to Bates. And he's going to shoot 2.
Tamar Bates is a leading scorer. Haven't called his name a lot, but I was impressed. He has not a great voice. He's like an assistant coach on the floor, and he's one of the most improved guys in college basketball from last year to this year. And he is, I hate to say it, automatic at the free throw line. 55 out of 58, 94.8%. The third best free throw shooter in the nation steps to the line.
I do believe in the announcer jinx, by the way, and that was totally disproven by that first shot. One more coming.
More importantly, Bates does not believe in the announcer's jinx.
Well, when you shoot 95%, that indicates a lot of confidence. 2 for 2.
He didn't hit rim, man. It is all net. That's as good of a stroke as we'll see.
And, you know, we watched him at shoot-around. You mentioned his voice. He's really stepped up even more so in that vocal department for his head coach this year. Questionably, one of the leaders. Back iron for Lanier. The tip in by Milicic.
So 3 possessions in a row. Rick Barnes has gone to just a simple pin-down action. Twice for Gainey for an open 3, once for Lanier.
Tied at 48. Igor Milicic with 16 points coming back from the flu. Perkins connects.
Tough shot maker because he had to fight to get to that jump spot. And Akpara switched out on him, just rose right up over the 7-footer.
Lanier gets it back. That's a 3.
I don't know who shoots it quicker, Caleb Grill or Chaz Lanier. Both of them probably get it off with about 5/10 of a second touch to release.
He said this week, all I need, a little separation. That's it, and it's going up. The block by Akpara.
The long arm of the law at the rim, right?
This game has seen a little bit of everything, and now Milicic, who's tied up under the bucket with Gray.
There's an open court transition foul. Look at Lanier, boom, in and out quickly, man. And it's amazing how fast it is for a low release shooter. And that's what Akpara can do, man. His recovery length and recovery speed and timing is tremendous.
Previous actions under review.
It was Gray and Milicic that got tangled up under the basket. By the way, Igor Milicic coming back from the flu, a perfect 7 of 7 from the floor, 2 of 2 at the line. And Jimmy, that was away from our vantage point as it all unfolded. And far away from the flight of the basketball, it's Doug Shows, Don Daly, Patrick Evans, and let's have a look at what they are looking at.
And that's a push in the back by Gray. I mean, that action is slowed down, so it probably looks worse than it was live. But two guys running, and
After further review, that is a personal foul.
Yeah.
We remain with a personal foul. The ball will be on the baseline for Tennessee.
yeah, there's nothing there to upgrade. That's just there's nothing excessive or unnecessary. Just looked like Gray maybe clipped his heel and got his arm out. You take a look at it, though, when there's a major crash like that involving two bigs running the floor.
I do want to shout out this veteran crew because both Doug Shows and Don Daly came over to us at halftime to explain what happened in the first half on the tap out that went all the way in the backcourt. And Jimmy, this is a legal move, and you can collect that rebound wherever you want to, even that far back in the backcourt, right?
Yeah, yes, because it's a tap. There was never a possession gain. That's different than, you know, saving the ball, going out of bounds, and having possession and throwing it back in. And because it was gathered in the backcourt, a full 30 seconds to work with. I thought initially maybe Meshack got his hand in there, but a really fast, good, alert call by this crew.
They have been on top of it tonight.
Yeah, man, that's tough in a tight game to have to burn a timeout, coming out of basically a timeout to not get it in. And I mentioned it, Zakai Ziegler's awfully small. Man, that can put a lot of pressure sometimes getting that ball in.
Timeout on the floor. We will step aside. What a game, what a moment so far on Rocky Top. The Vols by 1.
There's some monster wins this year. You got one of the best offensive teams in the women's game, Tennessee, against arguably the best defensive team that I've seen in UConn. A clash of titans tomorrow night. And Thompson Bowling most likely will be full, if not close to.
Akpara able to catch cleanly. Inbounds pass from Ziegler. Tennessee back to work.
Man, every possession is magnified in a game like this.
Lanier, the quick trigger again. That's another three.
And Rick Barnes gets Lanier going, coming out the timeout. He runs him off that floppy action, little pin down. And again, Lanier in and out of his hands so fast.
Chaz Lanier with 8. The lead at 4.
Remember, you got to stay in front of the ball against Missouri.
Grill contested 3. Banks it in.
Wow, that's what a guy like that can do. I know he banked it in, but that's a guy that can just light you up, man. Great shooters get bounces, and great shooters sometimes can bank one in under pressure.
Gainey to dunk down to Akpara.
That curl action is so hard to handle because you're going to step up on Gainey. Now the big is free at the rim.
Here's Perkins off the double team. Blocked by Akpara, straight to Gainey.
Drove it right into a shot blocker, did Perkins. Shoot it.
Milicic has not missed tonight. Ziegler continues the hot hand.
I think Zakai Ziegler shot about 1,000 threes when he was out with that knee injury because it looks so good. So good coming off that wrist tonight. And a little bit of a push by Tennessee. Not much, up 6 in this game with a long time to go. But the shot block of Akpara triggers this. Milicic turns one down to find his buddy Zakai Ziegler. And the Food City Center comes to life.
Igor Milicic, Zakai Ziegler, welcome back to Rocky Top. Coach, they've taken 14 shots tonight. They've combined to miss just 2.
Yeah, they have not missed a 3 combined. I mean, these are 2 guys that can give you a scoring punch. They had to do it with their defense on Saturday. Tennessee did just choke the life out of Florida. And now they need some offense tonight against Missouri, who's hanging with them blow for blow. Zakai Ziegler, I said in the first half, Rick Barnes trusts him every time he shoots it. I know the percentage isn't great, but he just has a knack in big moments to step up. And these 2 guys weren't even available on Saturday, and they come back tonight throwing some haymakers of their own. 16 for Milicic and 15 for Ziegler. They need every one of them.
Remember, Ziegler, 2 for his last 20 from three-point range before tonight. A perfect start, 4 for 4. Tennessee gets that kind of shooting from its backcourt. The Final Four, they beat anybody,
They can beat anybody. They absolutely can beat anybody. And so sure Missouri can't beat anybody as well. I am so impressed with this Missouri team, win or lose. How they play, their depth, how hard they play, how mature they are, the shot-making ability, the size at the rim. They disrupt you defensively, and they are a very difficult scout because of 8 different guys can lead them in scoring. It's a big-time game. Feels like an Elite 8 matchup.
It sounds a lot like March. It feels a lot like March in this arena tonight. Jimmy Dykes, Roy Philpott, Tennessee has made 15 of its last 20 shots from the floor. Vols have their largest advantage. Milicic. Mitchell chases it down with 8 on the timer. Mark Mitchell rejected by Akpara. And here a pin drop in here on this possession. Gainey cleared by Gray.
Tennessee, though, much stronger with the ball in the second half. Great teams, Roy. They fix the problem within the game, not the next game. And Tennessee's turnover issues much more cleaned up in the second 20 minutes.
Only 2 turnovers after 8 in the first 20. Bates, a calm finish, high off the glass.
I love Bates. Right now, he's shooting 54% from the field, 44% from the 3, 95 from the line. That's an unbelievable mark.
How about the dish by Akpara? He missed the slam.
The ones you got to make, right?
And a foul was called.
You told me at halftime Akpara's missed 4 or 5 right at the rim. I mean, Ziegler throws a strike right here. Splits that double team, and bam, that left-handed, almost a no-look pass, and Grill gets him from behind to knock it out. But still, man, for a big, strong 7-footer, you got to finish those through that contact.
Felix Akpara, the Ohio State transfer. 6 points tonight, 4 rebounds. 67% free throw shooting.
Roy, see the difference in that? If you make it and make the free throw, that's 3 points. And because of Grill playing hard and coming with the contact, it may have saved 3 and maybe only give up 1.
Jimmy, the Vols are 10 of 13 from behind the three-point arc. Just 2 of 7 at the line so far.
We're in a tight game. Layups and free throws, man. They determine the outcome.
Bates and Pierce are going to check back in. Josh Gray goes out. Here's Marquez Work. By himself, went on a 7-0 run in the first half tonight. Boy, Grill wanted that one. Didn't take it, the floater. Somehow got it to go.
I think you're guarding a pro tonight in Grill. I mean, his ability to make shots. He's a physical kid at 6'4", and he's more than a 3-point shooter.
Halfway home in our second half. Here in Knoxville, Milicic. Pass Grill, the dump off to Phillips. Missed it twice, Milicic again. Mark Mitchell comes away with it. Bates for the tie. And you can feel everyone in this arena take a deep breath. Twists and turns with what we've seen so far. Milicic on the move in the finish.
You talk about a 6'10" kid driving the ball off of a shot fake. And Roy, he drives the ball with his head low, makes him fast for a tall kid.
Lead back to 5. Milicic with 18.
This is a heavyweight fight for 15 rounds.
Mitchell no, and Milicic gets it to Ziegler. Think back 2 years ago in this arena, it came down to a buzzer beater from Mizzou from 3, and DeAndre Golson near off the mark. Phillips, right plays, right time.
He makes good plays, Cade Phillips. When that shot went, he went and just sucked up that ball on the weak side. All of a sudden, you look up, this thing's a 7-point advantage for Tennessee.
Largest lead for the Vols. Here comes Warwick. And Gainey clipped him.
Well, you don't want to bail out a guy taking a tough two, and Gainey did. Marquez Warwick, 4-time All-Horizon League player at Northern Kentucky. And think about this. Only Hunter Dickinson, Mark Sears, R.J. Davis at North Carolina, Caleb Love at Arizona have more career points than Marquez Warwick. That's the college career that this kid has had.
Almost 2,400 coming into tonight. So you think about Warwick, and then we mentioned Tony Perkins, 2-time All-Big Ten performer in Iowa. And Jimmy, these are guys that are probably not front and center on the scouting report when you play Mizzou, but that's how deep this team is with Dennis Gates this year.
Yeah, no doubt. And Dennis Gates did not waver last year when they went 0 for 18 in this league. He didn't make any staff changes. He stuck with his guys as a staff. He stuck with his guys that wanted to return. He plugged in some key holes in the portal. And as a result, they are a legitimate 17-4 and ranked 15th in the country. And it's hard for me to imagine that there's 14 teams better than Missouri. Watching them for the first time tonight.
Ball's back to work. Ziegler. The path. Draws the contact. Doug Schaus made the call baseline. And the Vols with a 6-point advantage, under 8 to go on Rocky Top. What a game in this top 15 showdown. Now we mentioned Road Team has won the last 6 straight in this series. Let's go back almost 2 years ago to the night, trailing by 2 after a late violation. DeAndre Golson nails the 3. What a win, what a scene for Dennis Gates. Then in year 1, that helped propel Mizzou into the big dance.
Yeah, that was a heck of a first year, was it not, for Dennis Gates? And again, the influence of Leonard Hamilton on this guy, and multiple times a day they talk about life, they talk about handling people, they talk about changing lives, and there's some basketball mixed in there as well, but Dennis Gates is the complete package as a head coach.
And we both asked him about that relationship today. I said, how did you stay so even keel last year? I had the blueprint. I talked to Coach Ham just about every day. And, of course, for those that missed the memo, Leonard Hamilton, it's his last season at Florida State. That news came out just a few days ago. Couple of free throws by Ziegler, and the lead at 8 for the Vols. Perkins without a point so far in the second half. He had 11 at halftime. Marquez Warwick. Long 2. Lanier clears. Perkins has scored in the second. He now has 15. He's been instrumental twice his season average. Bishop Boswell on the floor. Crossover by Zakai. He was fouled. Marcus Allen. It's his first.
That's a tough cover for Allen. I mean, Zakai Ziegler is so quick and plays so low. And Missouri will get mismatched some as heavily as they load up to the ball, and they rotate it over. And 4 in black is in a tough spot guarding 5 in white.
Ball's in the bonus rest of the way. How impressed are you with this comeback by Tennessee? It was an 11-point deficit. It felt like right out of the gate at halftime. And Tennessee, a couple of threes, the defense, the clamps were down. Everything changed.
Roy, it's 2 hard-nosed, tough teams, man. There's no flinch, there's no give-in. And there's a ton of time left in this ball game. Can go either way. Rick Barnes, he's got his plate full in the middle of the season. He goes tomorrow to bury his brother, who passed away last week. So really a tough week and a tough game right now for Rick Barnes to be coaching in.
He's also been battling a bit of a flu bug as well.
Yeah.
It's made its way through this Tennessee program the last 2 weeks. Allen the spin, and Allen will shoot 2. Phillips was trying to protect the rim, and Marcus Allen solid at the line this year with 2 free throws coming. Now 17 games off the bench so far this year for head coach Dennis Gates. For Allen, freshman out of Miami.
Think about Tennessee. They're in they're at the end of 5 straight games versus AP top 15 teams.
Not 25, top 15.
Top 15 teams. 5 straight games against top 15 teams.
It's never happened, even against 5 in a row in the top 25.
The students get Chick-fil-A with 2 missed free throws in the second half. And they got a chance right here.
Do you think?
Good job by Allen, right? That's a lot of pressure.
And Allen get a chorus of boos raining down upon him for making that second free throw.
Roy, I'm telling you, as aggressive as Missouri is and turning you over, Tennessee better be strong with this ball, because Missouri can go on a 6-8-0 run just like that, triggered off of their defensive pressure.
And we saw that early tonight, trailing 5-0. It was 8-5.
Yeah.
Mizzou in the span of about 75 seconds. When Ziegler wanted the 3, the pass was behind him. Spin it off the glass and 2 strong in the steal by Bates.
And they got numbers. Milicic trailing the play. It's 5-on-4.
Perkins to Bates and ripped away in a foul.
Yeah, if Lanier would have thrown a clean pass to Ziegler, he had a wide open 3, but it's a bad pass, and Ziegler with good discipline not to shoot a bad pass. And sometimes when you're outnumbered, that's not a bad play to foul.
Both teams in the bonus. Here's Tamar Bates, essentially the leading free throw shooter in college basketball. 95%. Missed the front end of the 1-and-1. There was the jinx. It skipped you and fell right in my lap. 9-point game and a foul. Akpara trying to spot Milicic cutting across the paint. Igor Milicic now with his 4th double-double of the season, Jimmy. He's got 18 and 10.
Well, he is one tough cover, 7 in white, because of that versatility that he brings. And now Milicic goes to the line, 81% free throw shooter in SEC play.
He'll get the bonus. He played for the Polish national team, 2024 Olympic qualifying, leading rebounder, and back from the flu. Well, that's one thing this time of year, January, February, and those illnesses start to kind of creep through your roster. It can hit the staff, the players, the janitors, the broadcasters.
Cheerleaders, everybody.
Second 20-point game of the season for Milicic. Welcome back.
Well, Missouri, though, they can jump up and stick back-to-back threes as well as anybody in this league. If you're Tennessee, you put pressure now on those shooters, and if they're making 2s, fine, but you don't want to give up 3s. You don't want to foul against a guy that's a non-scoring threat 20 feet from the rim. The Tennessee bench saying the same thing.
3rd foul on Felix Akpara.
Yeah, what are we doing? I think that's the most popular statement by a coach within a game. What are we doing?
Josh Gray, 47% free throw shooter. Spent time at LSU and South Carolina, 4 years in the SEC. Banked in the free throw.
So you've got a banked in 3 by Grill and a banked in free throw by Gray.
And Grill's laughing. Checking the hand, making sure everything's okay. Mentioned he's coming off his first double-double in 2 years. He stepped up in the leadership department as well for Dennis Gates. And a critical 2 for 2 at the line with a little luck involved.
Well, Missouri would love to get a live ball turnover right here and race that thing down the floor.
That was my next question for you. Do you want to see anything differently for Mizzou defensively?
I think they just turn up the pressure the best they can. They're trying to scramble the game right now, flying around.
Gainey on Grill. Milicic. The rotation is beautiful and a foul on Perkins.
Yeah, absolutely, Roy. Great call. I mean, Tennessee got that ball to the third side of the floor, and that ball was hot. It was not sticking, and Ziegler, with that whip pass to the corner, gets Lanier to that free throw line.
Well, a bevy of great quotes from Chaz Lanier this week. He was asked about what he does when he's away from Thompson Bowling here at Food City Center.
Probably sleeps.
Well, he said, this league is so good. I'm going home. I'm watching
ball.
That's right.
He was probably watching that Kentucky Ole Miss game last night. I love that Ole Miss team, by the way. It's my first time to see them last night. And when they make shots, they can beat anybody as well. Man, Chris Beard's defense was airtight. It's an older team. Right in the thick of this SEC race and the SEC tournament in Nashville.
I just love the old school game of Malik Dia.
Yeah.
The set shots from 25.
Yeah.
How about it?
He's good with it.
Tigers without a field goal in the last 5 minutes. Try to change that here. And Pates trying to cut to the bucket. Was bumped by Lanier. It's his third.
That was one that also could have been a play on, and not a lot of contact for what this game has had. But Lanier got his hands on just enough to foul with 6 on the shot clock.
Lanier has been a factor tonight with the 10 points, but Ziegler with 19, Milicic with 20, and his 4th double-double. The difference for Tennessee in this second half.
But Roy, it might be one of Lanier's best defensive games, watching him defend and bust through screens and dribble handoffs tonight, switching out hot.
And breaking news, Tamar Bates has missed 2 free throws in the last 2 minutes. The lob on slams it home.
Wow! What a beautiful two-man game between Double Z and Okpara. And Z came off of it knowing exactly what he was looking for. You threw that thing above the square, and Okpara went and got it. Man, the ability and the craftiness of Zakai Ziegler going to his left and throwing it back across his body, hop, skip, and do-si-do at the free throw line to celebrate as Okpara throws it down.
Jimmy, he's missed a couple of shots around the rim tonight. He didn't miss that one.
He's playing his best basketball as a fall. To your point, he's missed a few, but he is really starting to play the game with confidence on both ends.
Missouri led in the second half 39-28, and since then it has been all Tennessee. Barrett the reverse, no, and Gray was tripped up, and he's in pain. And Chaz Lanier just picked up his 4th foul.
Missouri shooting 39% from the field in this game. And that's what Tennessee can do to you. They lead the nation holding opponents to 36%. So they're actually 3 percentage points higher than the average. But
and Gray's going to wipe off his hands for a moment. Get the towel from Marshall. Doug Shows and Don Daly going to have a conversation. Gray took a tumble. It was awkward in traffic. They want to have a look at that last sequence to make sure they have the right party with a foul. Jimmy, I'm not sure that Lanier entered the picture until late. And it was Akpara that kind of got the legs tangled up.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if they got Lanier in with a reach.
So they'll switch it from Lanier. He now has 3 fouls, and Akpara has been given his 4th.
So if you're Tennessee and you know Missouri now down double figures with just over 4 to go, Missouri's going to be very aggressive, Roy, driving the ball, trying to get to the free throw line and score with that clock stopped. So a premium now for Rick Barnes' guys to guard that basketball and in any switching action, switch out high and not give Missouri clean three-point looks. How about Josh Gray? 1 black shoe, 1 white shoe. And he banks in another.
It's been that kind of night.
That's a great look right there. He did it in practice. I wasn't sure that, did he lose one and lose one of each? But I just think that's his style.
Almost banked that one in. Grill's going to chase down the rebound, and Gray finally hauls it in.
And just not strong with the ball, Tennessee. And that the Missouri hot hands, again, one of the best in the country at getting steals.
Bates open for a moment. That's a 3, so a 4-point possession.
No doubt. I mean, Tennessee had possession of the ball and a chance to take that thing down. That Missouri pressure stays intense.
That's the first made field goal for Mizzou in more than 6 minutes. Comes at a critical time. Ziegler picked up by Bates. Timer down to 4. Zakai, the hesitation. Empty possession for Tennessee. Perkins, Barrett, the reverse. And the lead, just like that, down to 8.
Man, they run that ball up the court with so much speed. Missouri. And game pressure now. You can feel it in Thompson Bowling. A comfortable lead now has shrunk.
Under 3 minutes remaining.
You want to stay aggressive, but use clock if you're Tennessee.
Here's Lanier, the mid-range. Perkins, a rebound. Tigers on the move. And Grill's going to be fouled. And that brings us to our under 4 media timeout, and a lot of basketball left to be played.
Yeah.
Both teams have exchanged their absolute best in terms of body blows, and Mizzou trying to find a way to be the last team standing. Grill at the line. Chance to make it a 2-possession game.
You know, we use that term a lot. How connected is this team? But Missouri is very connected. Just the enthusiasm they circle up with another offensive rebound by Missouri off of a free throw has changed this game.
It's the 6'4" Perkins in traffic. Lead at 7. Bates directing traffic.
Well, you cannot let Grill or Bates get one off.
He'll get one off. It's off to the left. And Gainey tracks it down in the corner.
Good job by Ziegler to be right there in the grill of Bates on the release. Rick Barnes will put you in a meat grinder right now. He'll use that clock and pound that thing inside at the end of the possession. A trusted handler up top with Ziegler that you would expect would not turn it over under pressure.
But Bates right on top of him. With the size advantage. 2 to shoot. Ziegler, Milicic. Off the mark. Tracked down by Perkins. Ahead to Bates. Blocked by Milicic.
Now they'll look at this one. Tennessee never ran offense, Roy, on their last possession. Zakai Ziegler just pounded that thing up top. The ball never moved. And see if we can tell a great hustle job by Milicic to come in.
The previous play is under review.
Oh, that's Looked like maybe to me it went off of T.O. Barrett. But the call was off of Tennessee, so unless there's something that obviously overturns it, will be Missouri's ball.
Well, the Tigers in the midst of a 7-0 run. The last 2+ minutes to get back in this game. And that comes after leading by 11. 3.5 minutes in to the second half. One more look. Barrett had his fingertips on it. Then it was shoved out from behind by Gainey.
I know they got maybe a couple of different looks that we don't. It looked to me like Barrett's fingers were the last to touch it after Gainey initially got the ball going out of bounds. Man, it's a huge call right now with 1:50 to go. I'm all in favor of monitor reviews, 2 minutes or less. I wish we'd go away with them at the other 30.
After further review, the call on the floor stands.
All right. I would be fine with college basketball having no monitor reviews until 2 minutes to go. I mean, we lived with it for 100 years. And a big call right there in this game.
Tigers maintain possession, 1:50 to go. Trailing by 7.
Akpar on that ball. It's not easy to get it in with a 7-footer. Putting pressure on that ball. Zakai Ziegler on Grill.
A bounce pass into Barrett. Sling it over to Grill. Here's Bates attacking the rim with bad intentions. And Tamar Bates back to the line. Normally automatic. It's been a struggle in this second half, surprisingly. Just 2 of 4 at the stripe tonight.
Or if we went back and looked at it, though, Gainey probably saved a 3. He switched out on Bates or on Grill to take that 3-point shot away. And I love the decision by Bates to take that thing in strong. And again, I talk about it all the time in the SEC. You've got to expect and win those collisions at the rim, and Bates just did.
Jimmy, Missouri, 15 of 24 at the line tonight for Dennis Gates. Bates now 4 of 6.
The pressure's coming. Tennessee has to be extremely strong with the ball and don't expect a whistle to bail out contact.
And Barrett called for the foul. Gainey tried to spring free, and he was held in the process.
And Gainey's an 80% free throw shooter. 1 out of 2 tonight.
So Barrett picks up his first foul. And Doug Shows and Don Daly back to the
Previous
scores
play
table.
is under review.
I think they're looking at that contact. Gainey came in and Dennis Gates all over it, saying that Gainey comes in with an angle and gets his elbow up maybe into the neck area of Barrett. Is exactly what they're looking at. This would be a huge call, right?
After further review, we have a common foul on 5. Number 11 for Tennessee will be shooting 2 in a double bonus.
Okay. Well, Dennis Gates is right, though, to make him at least go look at it. It was happened right in front of him. But as Gainey comes to get open, that's just shoulder-to-shoulder contact. That's honestly, that call could have gone either way in my eyes.
Yeah, Gainey sneaking in from behind right with the tap on Barrett's shoulder. So Jordan Gainey, 1 of 2 at the line. You mentioned it, Jimmy. He has had a incredible run on Rocky Top, and you think about how he has developed over the course of time. The game-winning bucket against Illinois, the 16 points in the win against Florida. And it's taken some time for him to get here. We've asked Rick Barnes about it this year. And he looks at Jordan Gainey. He's as proud of him as he is any player on this roster.
Well, this is the huge one right here to get it to a 3-possession game. Tennessee, you get up outside that three-point line right now defensively and switch high.
Still a lot of time left. Brill picked up by Gainey. The skip to Barrett. That's a three. Almost banked it in. Well, I'm not sure that that's the shot they wanted. They got it. It was a clean look. And Akpara going to be hammered by Perkins. Well, the fourth foul on Tony Perkins.
Roy, I think it was the shot they wanted, but not the shooter they wanted. You know, because it was good action. Grill found that weak side, backside bomb, but just, you know, Barrett, it's just uncomfortable for him. He's only played a total of 38 minutes in conference play. 0 for 1 from the three-point line. That's really good action because Tennessee loads up to the ball so heavily. They just got it to the wrong guy.
Big shot by Felix Akpara. 11 points tonight for number 34.
Well, he shoots a good ball for a kid this big. 72% in conference play from the free throw line.
Former member of the ESPN 100, our guy Paul Biancardi, director of college basketball recruiting, splashes home the second. Akpara with 12 and the lead back to 8. Approaching a minute to play. Bates has to go. And a step back triple. Drains it.
And big time shot by Bates. Akpara got switched off.
Lead back to 5. And the Vols defeat the full court pressure. Gainey double teamed and finally fouled by Barrett.
Well, that last shot by Bates, though, feeling no pressure. Akpara, 7-footer, does a really nice job, man, staying low and wide and strong. Challenges the shot, avoids the foul, and Bates just sticks it on him. Keep this game still in question.
And Tamar Bates, all of his points in this game, Jimmy, coming in this second half, all 4 threes. He has been a big-time impact player. Ball's in position, 50 seconds and change to go. And Gainey comes up clutch again.
In the same spot, though. This is the one that gets it back to a 3-possession game.
Missouri heads back home after this game tonight. We'll welcome in another top 10 team in Texas A&M Saturday at Mizzou Arena. Gainey's got 8 points. And in this league, the hits just keep coming from one game to the next. It's going to be another top 25, top 15 team coming to town. And Bates back to the line. Will shoot 2 more.
I don't see the foul. I mean, Gainey's retreating the entire way. But that's the right decision by Bates to drive that ball and drag the officials into the play.
Bates 4 of 6 at the line tonight. Now with 19 points.
I think Rick Barnes is saying the same thing. Like, my guy's retreating the entire time.
And Jimmy Bates has been having a consistent conversation with Akpara and now with Zakai Ziegler.
Yeah, that's how this league is. You cannot flinch in this league. And if you do, you'll get knocked around 2 or 3 straight games. And both these teams understand it.
Tennessee on the road Saturday afternoon in Norman at Oklahoma. Bates splashes home a pair. His 4th 20-point contest of the season. And the lead back down to 5. Lanier ahead to Gainey. Precious seconds off the clock. Shot clock down to 16. And finally, Ziegler going to be fouled by Bates.
Yeah, you'd have a better chance of trapping a squirrel than Zakai Ziegler. They did all they could. This is one of the better pressure teams in the country, and Ziegler fought his way out of it.
Jimmy, it's not that Zakai Ziegler needs an infusion of confidence, but you have to think after this performance tonight with the knee after the MRI, after missing a game, and he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, he has.
20 points. Tennessee now with a season-high 53 points coming in the second half. And Ziegler with a season-high 20. Did not miss a three-point opportunity tonight. 4 for 4.
There's not a tougher competitor in this league than Zakai Ziegler. And with Rick Barnes out of the huddle right now in the year of Don Daly, it wouldn't surprise me that Zakai Ziegler's not coaching that timeout right now. That's how much respect he has for his teammates. And his voice carries as much weight as Rick Barnes at times in that tight circle. I've seen nothing tonight that makes me think both these teams aren't good enough to get to the Final Four. That's how good this league is. Missouri's on a few seconds away from dropping their third game in this SEC, but they are built for a deep run in March. Man, just they come at you in waves with pressure and shot makers.
Well, Jimmy, you think about it. It took that kind of performance by Ziegler.
Yeah.
That kind of performance by Milicic. His fourth double-double. Over 20 points for both players. And it speaks to what Mizzou is all about this season. And by the way, we're just getting started. One more game headed your way here on SEC Network. LSU in Athens. Get you to the Classic City when we're done on Rocky Top, and then Arkansas and Texas over on ESPN2. Ziegler with 21. Under 30 seconds remaining. And Perkins is going to be pushed by Milicic.
I mean, why? Again, Rick Barnes asking, what are we doing? I mean, you got to handle that action. Milicic switched out on it and then reaches and continues to keep the door cracked for Missouri.
Now, Tennessee projected as a #1 seed by ESPN bracketologist Joe Lunardi coming into this game tonight. And Purdue and a handful of other teams right on the Vols trail. Missouri trying to inch a little closer into that top 16. And this crowd wants to inch a little closer to free chicken.
Boy, Tennessee has to box off right here. You cannot afford a tip out in Missouri to make a three-point shot right here. .82-76.
And still no free chicken sandwich.
No.
Tennessee has a timeout if they get in trouble.
And a timeout will be called. Rick Barnes standing at midcourt right in the ear of Don Daly. We'll get a chance to talk it over. In your mind, you've talked about it some with Mizzou. What have we learned about these two teams tonight and what they are capable of, in your opinion?
Well, if Tennessee shoots the ball like they did tonight, they can win the whole thing. They really can, because defensively, you know, they can hang with anybody in the country. They've just had some offensive lapses at times, but man, their shot making tonight, what are they, 10 out of 15 from the three-point line?
Good night at the office.
Yeah, Lanier's made one. Lanier's made him. Ziegler's made him. Milicic has made him. Gainey's made him. 4 different guys have made threes, and I have no qualms about saying Missouri is also a Final Four threat. The style of ball they play, how they turn you over, their defensive pressure is not going to go away, and they harass you as well as anybody in the college game, and they do it with really good discipline. I mean, they gambled, but they gamble with a high IQ, and you got a guy like Bates and Grill. They can make shots. They're physical at the rim. I mean, these are 2 of the best 15 teams in college ball, without a doubt.
Now the Vols on the verge of improving to 6-4 in the SEC. And Mizzou, unless it's unable to come back, will fall to 6-3 again with top 10 Texas A&M coming to Como on Saturday afternoon.
And both teams have really shot the ball well. Look at Missouri. They've gotten their 11 threes made tonight. Tennessee's right on their number, a little bit above with 10. And the rebounds, Tennessee has the advantage there. Not easy to do against a Missouri team that's so good on the defensive glass, especially. And 21 assists for Tennessee. They have moved that ball and shared it well. Missouri a little bit more one-on-one off the bounce tonight, resulting with only 10 assists. Boy, 2 guys on the ball. This is going to be tough for Zakai Ziegler. A second cut's going to be required for Tennessee to get it in.
Into Milicic, fouled by Bates quickly.
A good job by Zakai Ziegler. He probably took Roy an extra step backwards, which when you're taking the ball out of bounds, you can go back as far as you want. And Zakai Ziegler understood it and threw that ball high to Milicic and split the double team.
Well, the final 5 minutes of this game tonight going to take about 30 minutes in real time, given all the fouls. And it was Missouri's 9-0 spurt that helped get the Tigers back in it. They were down 14. Neither team is shied away from the other. It was 75-61 before the Tigers attempted this latest comeback.
This game is not over, and this free throw here has a lot to do with it.
1 of 2 for Milicic. Igor with 21. Now Meshack back in.
Yeah, you picture, well, Meshack, historically one of the best defenders we've seen in college ball in the last 10 years. You want him on the floor right now.
83-76. Both teams in the double bonus. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. Touchdown pass is caught by Perkins. Over to Cruz, and that's a triple.
What a play.
83-79.
Home run play. The pass, the catch by Perkins was phenomenal. And to find Cruz sprinting into it from transition.
Somewhere out of the Bryce Drew playbook in 1998. NCAA tournament. And Gainey's going to be fouled quickly.
Boy, to pull that play off, the pass has to be like dropping a dime. And Grill throws a perfect pass. Perkins goes up and gets it, doesn't travel. He knows exactly where he's going with that ball. Very similar to that Bryce Drew play that Valpo pulled off in that NCAA tournament many, many years ago. And even with a couple of makes here, it's a 2-possession game.
Gainey back to the line. Food City Center suddenly goes quiet again. In and out, and finally it taps out off the right side. We still have 20 seconds and change to go.
No doubt.
Think back to the game 2 years ago here. 86-85 at the buzzer. Gainey drops home the second. He's got 9. Here comes Mizzou. Perkins has to go. Here's Cruz with 8 points. Too strong. Gainey corrals.
A great job. A great job by Felix Okpara as a 7-footer to get involved in all that traffic up top and manage those 2 transition drag screens and then switch out on a shooter. Well, Rick Barnes will show that time and time again in that next film session, covering up a 3-point shooter to save a game.
Well, you look ahead to the SEC tournament, you think ahead in terms of seeding for the double bye. We may see another one of these Tennessee-Mizzou matchups when the stakes are even a little bit higher. They were high tonight, both teams in the top 15. But I like what you're saying about the potential. And we've known that about the Vols. They've been #1 in the land earlier this season. Mizzou, we are learning and understanding what the Tigers are going to be capable of. And it surely has the chance to be a special season in Columbia. One second to go. And Don Daly will halt the action here.
I think Dennis called a timeout.
He did. Last timeout for the Tigers. 85-81.
Well, Miracles still happen today, but this would take a miracle, right? With 1 second, you would literally have to throw the ball in bounds if you're Tennessee, and Missouri steal the ball, shoot a three, and foul at the same time, if my math is correct.
It is. I see you counting on your fingers there. You nailed it.
It's unique what Dennis Gates is doing. I can't recall the last time I saw applying a full court press and putting two guys on the ball like Dennis has done. Now, Zakai Ziegler has managed it when it's happened, making that over-the-top pass.
Get you out to Georgia for LSU and the Dogs as soon as we're done here in Knoxville. And just 1 second remaining in what's been an entertaining night. And Tennessee on the verge.
You and I have good games together when we're together.
We have great games.
Yeah, something about the juice. Now there's nobody on the ball. Everybody's face guard. And you just got to get it in.
And Grill got his fingertips on it for a moment. And that'll do it. Dennis Gates, Rick Barnes shaking hands near midcourt. And the first win versus Mizzou here in Knoxville since way back 2019, 85-81.
Game of the night in college basketball, and it delivered.
It's